Sadly, I think the biggest issue with the school system in the US, and maybe it's the same in the UK, y'all could tell me, anybody from the UK, but I think the saddest part of the school system is that the way it's set up and the way it's structured kind of deters a lot of students from wanting to participate in it, and they kind of misattribute the fact that they don't really want to be in school to not really wanting to learn. And I think that's kind of a dangerous area to be in. When truthfully, I don't think that people's desire to learn has been diminished. It's just kind of the way the school system has been set up and, you know, put us in a box that we kind of attribute it to learning, and thus we don't want to do either. But in reality, you have to realize that learning is one of the most important things you can do. You sitting here on this video, you're technically learning. All I'm really doing is reading stuff, learning things, and relaying it back to you in a more digestible, easy way, right? That at the end of the day, that's all that's going on here. Um, I'm putting these things into practice, letting you know how it goes, and relaying the information back to you. So at the end of the day, you're learning here. And what I don't want a lot of you to do, and I've seen this from a few people in the comments below, is that I don't want you guys to get turned off from learning. Okay, learning is one of the most crucial parts of who you could be as a person and life in general, right? I've said this before in my videos. Everybody should try to be well versed in as many things as possible, right? Obviously, you should have the things you excel at and the things you're primarily focused on, but you know, switch things up every now and then. Get well versed in movies, get well versed in, you know, food, get well versed in vehicles. Like, just know a lot about a lot of different things, right? Know some survival tactics, know some gardening tips. Like, it would be good to know at least a little bit about all these different things. And the biggest benefit to learning, easily 100%, it's not even close, is reading. Reading is a thing that I didn't used to do until kind of recently, actually. When I was a kid, I would read for fun, but a lot of it was like obviously kids' books. They had pictures in it, you know, sometimes comic books, manga, and you guys can still read that stuff. Anything that you want to read, go ahead and read. But it is also important to learn to read books that can teach you a lot. And I think the biggest thing for me personally was, oh, why would I read these things if I can just go on YouTube or go on a podcast where it'll basically tell me what the book's about, teach me the lessons of this book, and then I won't have to read this entire book. I used to think like that, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this, and it's just a shortcut to reading. I don't have to do reading. But until I actually started reading books, I didn't realize how different this actually was and what kind of impact it actually made. Like, the knowledge that you soak in from reading, the amount of information you soak in, the way that the words are put sometimes are so much more helpful, or you're going to remember so much better when you actually read this stuff. And a thing that I like to do while reading is take notes. So I have my journal here. Yes, it's a death note, but don't worry. If you hit that subscribe button below, I won't put your name on it. Don't worry. But I like to take notes while I'm reading. First of all, it helps me remember the things I read, and it helps me jot down any key important points that I might have or might want to go back to or might want to maybe emphasize in one of these videos, right? So I do recommend jotting down notes or thoughts that you have while reading books. I think it's going to be a lot more helpful for you, and as you flip back through your journal, you'll be able to, you know, find any key points that you might have missed, and basically kind of have like your own condensed little version of the main things you learn from the book, rather than just going out there and trusting some source that you don't really know for the information from your books. And it was hard for me to read at first, no lie. Like, I have a Kindle and I've had a Kindle for a long time, but when I started getting into the self-improvement habits, everybody's saying read books, read this book, that book. It was super hard for me to sit down and just start reading the book from scratch after literally being a degenerate and not reading at all for the years before that. Even when I had assignments for school, like, unless they were a few pages, like if I had to read like 20 pages of a book, I would just read none of them, which kind of doesn't make sense. Like, might as well read 10 other than 20, but I would just read none of them. Unless it was like 5 or 6 pages, I wouldn't do the reading assignments for work. I would like ask somebody or Google a summary. And I don't want you guys to get in that habit. That's not a good habit to get into. I recommend you guys read everything. Even if you don't want to, it's just good to thoroughly know the information that you're discussing or going to be talking about. It's going to be so much easier to do assignments when you actually know what you're doing the assignment about, or just in general in life when you actually know what you're reading about. But the number one way I would recommend you guys to get into reading, and this has helped me tremendously. I cannot stress enough how much this service has helped me, and that is to go to short form. Now, what short form is essentially is kind of like condensed book summaries to help you get the main points of each book that you're reading through with like a condensed version of what the book is going to be about. Now, it's not just summaries, they also have like discussion forums, and you're able to highlight things and do different activities in the book. So, but the reason it's helped me is because it's kind of hard to go from somebody who doesn't read at all to reading like whole last 300-page books. So they were kind enough to sponsor me, and I couldn't be more thrilled. I used short form before they even came to me with any sort of sponsorship affiliate link. So when they came to me and said, hey, would you like for your viewers to have an affiliate link with short form, I said absolutely, because this is a great opportunity for me to kind of discuss with my viewers like what got me into reading and how I established that habit really. And it was because of short form, right? I started off with, you know, the most important books that some of them I've discussed on this channel. I started off reading those books on short form, right? I started reading the book summaries, and if I liked the book enough, I would download it on my Kindle and read it all the way through. So it's a really, really good stepping stone. It's a beautiful stepping stone for anybody that wants to start reading, which I recommend all of you do. I have an affiliate link in the description of this video. It's going to get you a 5-day free trial. So if you want to use it for 5 days, see how it is, trust me, go right ahead. Read 1 or 2 books. They even have a 1-page summary on every single book. So even if you don't want to read the condensed summary of the book, there's literally a 1-page summary that does, instead of condensing every chapter, they condense literally the whole book into 1 page or 1 paragraph. You also get a 20% discount on annual membership. So if you like it enough to continue with it, you're going to get a 20% discount. But regardless of if they were an affiliate or not, I just recommend everybody gets into it, because it's just a beautiful way for you to kind of get into the habit of reading and kind of use it as a stepping stone to really start getting into it and being more comfortable with it. You know, especially if you're somebody who's in school and you realize you're gonna have to be doing a lot of reading for your majors, for your classes, and overall, if this is something that you're interested in, I recommend that you guys get started on short form. Reading is beautiful. It's taught me so much, and I cannot stress enough how much different reading is than watching videos. You know, I was always the guy, like I said before, yeah, let me just watch this YouTube video, let me listen to this podcast. They'll explain everything in the book, but the way the authors put it, the way they describe things, how they go into detail, the way they make you visualize these certain things, it cannot be replicated through, you know, YouTube videos or even short form summaries for that matter. As much as I love them, like the books themselves are on a completely different level. But this is a habit I recommend everybody starts. I'm just so glad that they came to me and said, hey, would you like to partner with us? Because I use them as it is. I told them when they messaged me, I'm like, hey, I use you guys as it is. Like, you guys don't need to give me a free account. You guys don't need to give me nothing. Like, I'm happy that you guys came to me, right? Because I'm a big fan of yours. So I want to pass that message on to you guys, because reading has been one of the biggest changes in my lives. Because when you really read stuff, I really think that information sinks in with you and really resonates with you. And right under this affiliate link for short form, I'm going to list the title of my favorite books that I have read, and you guys can kind of get a brief look at them on short form, see if you would like to get deeper into them. Maybe if you're starting off, just read the summaries and the condensed version on short form, see how you feel about them. But I cannot stress enough how important reading is. I hope every single one of you are reading, right, every day, even if it's not books. Like, read articles, just read, because it's going to make you a better, more well-spoken person. Your vocabulary is going to expand naturally. Sun's going down, as you can see. I'm recording this later than I usually do, so hopefully, I apologize for the lighting. Maybe I'll edit the brightness in the editing process. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of your mental health, and I love every single one of y'all. Bow!